Hi guys, so day two, and as promised, I would like to talk to you today a little bit more about the diet and what you should be eating to maintain a good immune function. Because we know that diet is very, very important when it comes to actually your immune system and how the immune system is functioning. Because from diet, you are getting a lot of nutrients, you are getting minerals, vitamins, phytonutrients, and a lot of different very useful chemicals that help our immune system to interact and protect us from the outside sort of like environment, to protect us from viruses, bacterial infections, and so on. So when it comes to food choices, uh, first of all, the number one thing I should say to get rid of at this time is sugar. Now, sugar not only suppresses the immune system, but you actually use up a lot of vitamin C when you are eating sugar. So, we know that vitamin C is important when it comes to immune function and it is an antioxidant. But, having sort of like biscuits and cakes and croissants is really not very protective for our immune function. So really, if you do need something sweet, if you do have a sweet tooth, I would suggest only to have a very small amount of dark chocolate, which has a lot of antioxidants, or simply have fruit, which will have a whole spectrum of different nutrients, including vitamin C. So really, sugar should be out at this particular time when we're trying to make our immune system a little bit more robust. Okay, so we know that 70, 80, or maybe even as much as 90 our immune system resides in the gut. So the state of our gut is really, really important. And what we feed our gut, that's in a way translates into how our immune system is functioning. So what do we actually need in order to have a good functioning gut? First of all, we need foods that are called prebiotic foods. So prebiotics are the foods that actually feed our gut bacteria. So these are things like garlic, onion, leeks. Chicory is a really, really good source of that. And in the shops, you really still can get a lot of these things very, very easily. Use leeks in your cooking. That will be very, very useful. So you really want to give your bacteria food that it can sort of like thrive on really. And then you probably heard about foods that are probiotics. So probiotics, the way they're different from prebiotics, that probiotics are actually foods that already contain some kind of bacteria that when we consume can actually boost our own bacteria as well. So these are things like sauerkraut, like kimchi, like kefir. Now sauerkraut has been very widely used in Eastern Europe for many, many years. My grandma after war, she used to have always a big bucket of sauerkraut that she would consume throughout the winter, and it is believed that that really helped people to actually stay stronger and get through the winter period without getting immune compromised or really, really unwell. So probiotic foods are really important as well for our gut. Um, Really, what we should be eating at this stage is we should be eating the rainbow of foods. And I think, a lot of people, when they are stocking up on different foods, they still don't realize that it's not the packaged foods that are going to give us phytonutrients, it's the fresh foods. And really, when you go to the shops, there are lots of fresh foods out there. So really, the more colors you are eating, the more different phytonutrients you're getting. And phytonutrients basically are chemicals that plants produce in order to protect themselves in nature. And when we eat phytonutrients, phytochemicals, we get exactly the same protection as the plants do. So, that's where different colors come in. The more colors you can have, the wider phytonutrient spectrum you will be consuming. Don't overcook your vegetables to death, because that will really kill a lot of nutrients out there. So include quite a few raw salads as well, and even things like coleslaws are really, really useful, because cabbage is great for, it has a lot of different nutrients there. Try and have, not only green cabbage, but the purple one as well, and the color purple will have a lot of phytochemicals in there. So, include wide spectrum of colors, as wide as you can, in order to really gain the most of phytochemicals that are out there. We know that vitamin C is a really good vitamin to that works with our immune system. And I think a lot of people, when they think about vitamin C, they only think about oranges, and they actually, most of the time, they think about orange juice. Um, Orange juice is it might contain vitamin C, but by juicing orange, you're stripping out fiber and you're releasing a lot of sugar into the drink. And when you're drinking it, the effect on the body is the same as actually would be putting sugar in water. So really, we should be eating our fruit with fiber, and that way you will be getting a lot more out of it than just juicing fruit. But think about other things as well that contain vitamin C. So kiwi is really, really great. Things like peppers are really good. I think a lot of people don't sort of like think of peppers as a rich source of vitamin C, but it really is. You can have some of yellow pepper at lunchtime, and then some of the red pepper in the evening to get that phytochemical spectrum. But also things like broccoli. So broccoli is a very, very a useful food, because it contains chlorophyll and quite a few different nutrients out there, including vitamin C. So really, vegetables should be a key, and should be part of your normal everyday diet. Ideally, we should be eating 7 to 10 portions of vegetables a day in order to have a really good functioning immune system, really good functioning gut. So really get out there and buy vegetables as opposed to canned sort of like processed foods. And when it comes to processed foods, really ideally we should be removing those out completely. So by processed foods, what do I mean? I mean, things that are sort of like really pre-made in the factory, that contain hydrogenated oils, which contain oxidized oils. So really, that don't contain vegetables, but contain fats that are not quite useful for our immune system. So if you're having pizza, quite that often, apart from tomato sauce, that pizza will not contain anything useful to our body, really. So if you swap that pizza for even like lean fish or chicken, or any sort of like plant food that is in a natural state, it is a lot better than eating something that's been pre-made in the factory, because nutritional value of that food will be a lot lower. So really, if you are going shopping, you should be looking at fruit and vegetable section first, and then you should be looking at lean protein, and then if you want anything sweet, get some dark chocolate or some fruit, because I know children, they will want something sweet, and for them probably fruit will be much more appropriate than giving them biscuits. So that's about food really in a very, very broad terms, in a very general terms. And tomorrow I'll be touching on supplements, which supplements are useful and which can really help us to deal with this whole situation. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.